Hey, what's up, y'all? Good evening. What is it? January 23rd? What's up, y'all? Black Star in the building. Y'all here with pre-Sunday Night Raw interview number 9. Or actually, yeah, pre-Sunday Night Raw number 10 interview. Yeah, that's it. I'm getting myself confused. But yeah, over here, we got a nice set coming up this Sunday. It'll be Sunday night, January 26th, I think, at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be Cosby. It's gonna be versus Rare Entity. It's gonna be a run back from NYG number 8. So I'm kind of hyped for it. There's actually a lot of other people looking forward to it. So, and we want to see some close sets. They're all been, all the Raws been blowouts. It's been kind of annoying, but this one might just be the different one. This might be the one that stands out. So, but tonight here I got for our interview is Rare Entity himself. So if you want to say what's up, say what's up.
Hello, stream viewers.
Yeah, man. So appreciate you coming out. Doing this interview. So how you doing so far?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's what's up. So we're gonna get it started. We're gonna ask I don't know, about 7 questions or something like that. Just going through your basic history and things like that, and then just how you feel about the match overall. So
Okay.
So I guess I'll just go ahead and get it started. Okay. So first question is, how did you get started playing VF, and what do you like about it?
Well, I've always known about VF ever since I was a kid. My very first exposure to Virtua Fighter was when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. I got Virtua Fighter 2 bundled in with the Sega Saturn. I believe it came with that in Daytona, USA.
Yeah.
So, of course, being some stupid 9-year-old kid, I'm just mashing buttons and, quickly tire of the game and move on to other things. But years later, I would pick up VF4 Evo on PS2. And even then, though, I still didn't know about VirtualFighter.com, so I wasn't aware that it was a larger community. And unfortunately, none of my friends locally were really into it, so I had no local competition, but it was still a really great game, and I played it for quite a while. And I actually played Sarah then.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so, VF5 rolls around, and I'm thinking about getting PlayStation 3 for it, but then I hear that the Xbox 360 version has, online capability. So I wait, and I think this would have been about probably February, March of 2000 and I want to say 2008, 2009.
Yeah, it came out in 2007, like November 2007, so it's probably 08.
Yeah, because I remember getting my tax refund early 2008. Go to GameStop, buy an Xbox 360, get VF5. It's the first game I buy for it. And I actually bought it at full price, too. Oddly enough, the game had been out for several months, but it was still $60 at GameStop. But, I gladly paid for it because, years later I would have, hundreds of thousands of hours put into the game.
Yeah.
So, once I started playing online, I discovered that, there was, the larger VFDC community. And from there, I started looking into going to gatherings. So my very first gathering was, I believe this was when Summer Jam was essentially in its infancy. Instead of being held in Philadelphia, it was actually held closer to Media, Pennsylvania. This was near the Grant Run Mall at a place that can't remember the name of. It was a small arcade that's now closed down. But I think I did pretty well that tournament. It was just me and several other players, but I remember Chief Flash and Blackula were there.
Oh,
so
what?
Was, yeah, my first introduction to, pretty, I would say close to high-level play, at least by North American standards anyway.
Yeah, okay.
So, once I had that experience, man, I was hooked on just the whole competitive experience. And, it just went from there.
Okay, so you're pretty much 5-6 year vet in the tournament scene.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, man. So how did it go? How was that tournament? You remember?
From what I can remember, I mean, I did okay. I got some compliments, and I didn't get completely shut out. I think I may have even made it in the top 5. Mind you, there was only several players because this is almost kind of suburban Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a few really good players there. It was I guess Flash, Blackula, and there was another player that I believe Flash was training. I want to say his handle was like Toy Dingo or something like that.
Yo,
Anyone, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's been
really?
years since I've talked to the guy, so I believe that guy actually ended up being Flash in that tournament because it was like, yeah, you know, the student has become the master or something like that. I remember hearing something like that at the end of the tournament. So,
Yo, that's pretty crazy. Cause Toy Dingo, this is the same Toy Dingo that plays Sarah.
um, you know, I really don't remember who he played. He could have been playing Sarah back then. He might have even played Wolf.
Okay, cause we got a Toy Dingo over here at ATL. He's a Sarah player on PSN. So I wonder if that's the same person. I don't know. So I might ask him about it later. But either way, that's pretty cool. So see, you've been in the game like pretty much a little bit. All right,
Yeah.
so let me go to the next question. Yeah, how did you get your tag, Rare Entity? It's pretty unique.
Um, you know, and this is going to be a very disappointing answer. There's really no special story behind it. It's basically just like bullshitting on Xbox Live, sending out my account, and I started putting random names together,
Yeah,
and then Rare Entity just pops up, and I'm like, good enough for me.
yeah, it just sounds
And
cool.
yeah, you know, sounds sufficiently pretentious enough. So fuck it, right? Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, there you go. Run with that. So actually, it's like there's been a couple other people on here that been pretty much had it like the same story. Like they just went to a random generator, random name generator on XBL, and then their names popped up. So it's not unique. You're not the only one. So that's pretty cool though. It's cool to hear.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go to the next question. All right, getting more toward like how you play, right? Because
Okay.
it's gonna be important for the set coming up. Because Cosby is he kind of has his own defined style. But as far as your style goes, we know you play with El Blaze. Like, how would you describe your personal fighting style? And what are your strengths and weaknesses?
I was a strengths are that I can keep my opponents, you know, really on their toes. If they can't make the correct guesses fast enough, and if they don't have the reaction time on point, then they're going to shut down completely. However, as far as my weaknesses are, it's mostly when I'm on defense, when the opponent has managed to slow my momentum and gotten me to essentially at a standstill, then that's kind of where things start to look in the opponent's favor. But normally I can keep the match going at the pace I want it to go, and mostly my other weakness would probably be like long distance fighting. Al Blaze being like 5 foot tall definitely does not work out in his favor most of the time. He has very few options from mid to long range, so a lot of the time smarter opponents will pick up on this, and they'll play a more like slower spacing game and try to wait for me to get impatient.
Okay, because I have noticed this, like watching or playing against you and like watching some of your matches. Like you really do like and strive for like controlling the pace of the match. Like, and it goes into your style. It's like you're pretty aggressive, which actually complements really well the style of Final Showdown where defense loses, and buttons win. So so what do you think about that? Really, like how would you say about that?
I love it and it pisses me off at the same time. It's hard to describe, but
Oh, I'm
like,
sorry, but can you put your mic closer to your mouth? It's like you're sounding garbled for whatever reason.
oh, I apologize. You know what? I'm actually pacing while I'm doing this interview. I had a few glasses of wine and some rum before I started, so
Oh,
I apologize if I'm not in top form. But
nah, you're good. Nothing wrong with getting a little warm for an interview, I guess. So
yeah.
you're good. But go ahead.
All right, so about like Final Showdown specifically, yeah, it's definitely that if you stand there and wait for shit to happen, you're probably going to get wrecked. But at the same time, it's like it definitely can make for like some more exciting matches when when the momentum really picks up and most opponents have to, make decisions very quickly. They can't just sit there and wait and try to like really make a game plan on the fly. It's just like, all right, it's really a definitive test of your reaction time and your execution skills. So I do like that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, most definitely. So what's your strength? What's your weakness? I don't think I got that out of you.
Strength and weakness.
Yeah.
My strengths are buttons. Uh,
Hey, you're right. I'll say that. You're definitely right. Go ahead.
my weaknesses. I can't break staggers that well. I mean, the basic ones, yeah, like I'm not going to get hit by like, the entry level stagger, so to speak. But, I'm not breaking, goes guard break, palm thrust stagger combo anytime soon. That's
Man, I can tell you how to stagger. I'll give you a stagger secret right now, cause I used to be terrible at staggering, and all of a sudden I just totally leveled up with it, and I learned from going to TFC and playing in the tournament there, and then Trick, one of the North Carolina players, he told me he had showed me, he was like, look, you don't have to do those little 360 rolls or whatever. All you have to do is like hold guard and shake your stick from 7 to 3. 7-3, 7-3, 7-3, because you're hitting neutral and then you're hitting like different buttons in between. So you're going to 7, but you're hitting 8 or 2 or 2 on the way. And the same thing with when you go to the 3 direction. So he was like, just shake it back and forth there. And after that, it was like, yo, my stagger game just like leveled up. So that might help. Hopefully that might help for the set. But I thought I'd just pass it along. So, cause that helped me out.
okay.
But yeah, okay. So you say, all right. So let me go to the next question. Actually, so what do you think of the set in general? Like, because you're going against Kazi, right? Like, do you play each other like pretty often? Like, you know each other's style. Y'all know each other pretty well as far as playing, or what?
Lately, I haven't had the chance to play him too often, like especially online. I guess we perhaps get on at different times, so I really don't see him that often. I think MLG was actually the last time I played him, and like when we're actually at the tournament, I got a pretty good set against him. I believe it went like 3-1. But I actually played him in casuals the next morning, and I guess he was a lot calmer, and there was a lot less pressure. So, he actually did very well. This was like early morning casuals the next day, and we were just going in his hotel room. He did very well in casuals, but I think once the pressure's on him, he's going to do things he doesn't want to do, and I believe I can control the match and make it turn out in my favor.
Okay, and who was he playing exactly?
He was playing Sarah during the tournament. He played Sarah, switched to Leon for one game, and then switched back to Sarah.
Yeah, we remember that. We were like, I know I was in chat like, why are you doing that? 'Cause he was doing good with Sarah, and then that didn't work out at all. So he made that complete switch back, and it kind of worked against him. So would you say is like his Sarah pretty much compliments him more, or goes against your style more, or what? What do you think?
It's hard to say. Like I said, it's been several months since NYG. But from what I remember, I mean, his style it's pretty solid, but there are ways to exploit it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go into specifics, a lot of times I'll see him, try to go for like a big attack on wake up. Especially if I would get into that situation where he has to guess like an Oki setup, essentially like kind of like an unconventional mid throw mixed up.
Okay, it's pretty much the Nitaku setup or whatever. So.
Yep.
Okay, so as far as the set go, how do you think you're gonna do? Like, just be totally honest. Are you gonna blow them up? It's gonna be free. I mean, I know it's been a while since you played, but how confident do you feel going in? Because it's gonna be your first of 10, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I feel pretty confident. Like I said, he may not perform well under pressure, and if he goes in this with a lot riding on it, then he's not going to play as confidently as he wants to. That being said, the online situation, it kind of affects me as well. Like when I'm playing offline, I'm really free to flow how I want to. However, online, with like delayed inputs, especially the fact that it makes just rank attacks that much more difficult to execute, really means that it kind of restricts a lot of my options as well. So, if all goes well, I think, the match is definitely going to turn out in my favor. But who knows? He could be training really hard. He's been very quiet. So maybe he has some secret tech up his sleeve. Maybe he has something to show me. And I would really love it if he did, because I want this to be a challenge. I don't want to just pound some scrub into the ground and call it a night. I really want this to be an exciting match, both for me personally as a challenge, and for the viewing audience.
Yeah, man, you're being too nice, man. Just be like, look, Cosby, you suck. You're gonna be garbage. You're going down. I'm taking the belt, the online belt, XBL belt is mine. Come take it back at NYG9 or whatever, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want me to throw out a few facts, I beat him at an NEC tournament. This was years ago. This is before FS. This was in Vanilla. Me and him made it to grand finals, and I think he actually played Kage then. So, I beat him then. Then I beat him again at NYG, quite handily, might add. So, you got to factor that in as well.
Yeah. So you have, the overwhelming winning record so far. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I can see you being pretty confident in. So I can understand that. So, all right. So that answers that. Let me go to the next question. All right. We kind of covered that question. I guess y'all don't have any punishments for anything like that for the loser, or is this pretty much a test of skill, just see how it goes, or what?
Yeah, this is essentially for just for entertainment. I mean, there's nothing personal involved in this. There's nobody that I really have a grudge against, so to speak. There's a few people in the scene that I'd like to prove my worth against, but as far as punishments for losers goes, can't really think of anything amusing off the top of my head. So, maybe the night of I'll have thought of something, but for now, the victory in and of itself will be enough. Yeah. And as long as I've entertained the viewers and everyone's had a good time, then it's accomplished. So I'm not too worried about what happens afterwards.
Yeah, we really don't need all that, because I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to the set, so I already know it's gonna be pretty good. So, all right, so that pretty much goes over the set this Sunday. So, I don't know if we've talked about this already. Let me talk about do you have a local community going on, anything like that? Anything local?
Not much to speak of, unfortunately. We've tried to gather at Hub's house a few times. He lives in a couple counties over in Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania, and he's invited us over a couple times. But being that he has a family, full-time job, career, all that, he doesn't have too much time to hold offline gatherings. So, unfortunately, the only nearby player is Jehoseph, who we actually lived in the same town for a while, but he got an apartment in Delaware, so he's a little further away now, but we try to keep in touch.
Okay, yeah, he comes on a little bit every now and then, so hopefully he'll start. We'll see him more, or we'll see him in some tournaments hopefully soon too. So we'll see about that. But okay, let me ask about your character, because you've been playing Blaze since Vanilla, I'm assuming. So, so you, and then pretty much you're pretty much the best. I would say personally you're the best Blaze in the country. It'll be between you and 001, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, he definitely has some interesting tech. I'll say that for sure. And to be honest, I've actually learned quite a bit from him. I do feel, I think, my execution and actual, when it actually comes to the match, as far as actually pulling out that victory goes, I think maybe I got might have the upper hand on him, but his actual knowledge of Blaze and all the situations he can take advantage of is perhaps slightly superior to mine.
Okay, so that's good to know. Like as far as wow, GT, GT talking about he's the best Blaze. Real talk.
I'll defend the title against him, man. No problem.
Yo, I want to see that. Yo, GT, you need to be in the first 10 somebody. But I'm gonna talk with him later because I want him in a gauntlet with like 10 of the best players. You know, first of eyes, back to back. See what happens in. But that's something else. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But going back to you, as far as your character Blaze, like as far as people that might want to try him out or things like that, do you have any advice or things like that to help people get accommodated to him and figure out how to play him? Because he's kind of weird.
Press buttons very fast.
Just mash?
No, okay. Don't mash. Except for there's a few situations where you can go Bari and avoid a counterattack, but if your opponent knows what you're doing, you're going to get launched and it's going to hurt bad. Blaze being essentially a featherweight means that most characters can get the highest damage combos off of him. Sometimes his strange hitbox kind of helps him avoid counter hits. I fooled many a player by going for Blaze's 9D splash attack, and they'll attempt to launch right away. However, since he lands so low, the hit doesn't connect right away.
Yeah, his hitbox is so annoying sometimes. So yeah, he messes up my wall combos. So
I mean, as far as new players trying to learn him, just realize that Blaze isn't as weird as he appears. It's essentially just mid throw mix ups all the way with some good stagger combos thrown in for good measure. Just learn your fundamentals. Learn the good combos, and you're pretty much good to go. And Blaze's move list allows him a bit of creative freedom, so to speak. You don't have to play him any one way. And that's what I really love about the character is that the styles between 2 or 3 different Blaze players can diverge so widely.
Yeah, well, that's true for a lot of characters, but Blaze I can see even more so because he's just so out there compared to the rest of the cast. So he's still VF, but he's not very VF. He's just different. Look, he's crazy.
The number one thing for new people picking up Blaze to remember is do not rely only on gimmicks. Somebody who tries to abuse rocket discharge shenanigans the whole match is going to get lit up and they're going to be like, well, this character sucks. Just realize that, he has the basic tools that other characters has. He has decent throws, he has good mid pokes, and he does have tools to deal with people who want to play that spacing game as well. So, just be patient and learn what works. And, you should be good.
Okay, so it sounds like sound advice. So, I'll go ahead and go with pretty much the last question. So,
all right.
So, okay, you've probably been on VFDC since, what, 08 or something like that? What do you think?
Yeah.
Around 08?
Yeah, I think probably spring or summer of 2008 is when I first signed up.
Okay, so you've been around for a minute. You've seen the community. You've been to offline tournaments for a while. So, what do you think of the state of the online, not online community, but VFDC, NAVF, North American VF, or just VF in general? What do you think? What's your thoughts on the community?
Well, I think there's definitely room for improvement, so to speak. I mean, not just in the level of play, but in the, level of participation from all the players, really. I would love to see a lot more offline gatherings, and, I would love to see more central, urban hubs. It seems like the only actual, cities we have where there's several or more players is really, New York and SoCal. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I realize there have been other regional scenes to have popped up probably in the last few years or so.
It's really only SoCal, which is kind of non-existent right now, because it's really right now in SoCal it's only Icky and Plague who comes out, because LA he's got his own business and all that stuff. He's really busy, and then like all the other players kind of dropped off over there. So it's like New York's pretty much the last man standing. Like uh, Northwest America, like Seattle and Oregon, like they have somewhat of a scene. I don't know how active they are. They have Chanchai over there and R Panda and a few other players, and of course there's NorCal too. But I don't know how. I don't think they're pretty active anymore. But yeah, it's like kind of scattered now. The only real scene left is New York right now. So
Yeah, it's just an occupational hazard, really. It's unfortunate that, fighting games just haven't picked up as much steam as other video game genres in North America. It's almost a uniquely Japanese or East Asian genre. And of course, take into account that Virtua Fighter is the least popular of the fighting genre, which is already, unpopular in North America. And it definitely makes for a disappointing turnout when it comes to offline gatherings and even online streamed events as well.
okay, so understanding we're not Sega, we're not a huge publisher with all kinds of money. You know, like what can we do as players to help grow the scene numbers, or even and especially to grow our talent, like as far as like getting better, good enough to even beat Japan maybe. So what do you think?
You're going to have to ask GG that question. I've still yet to figure that one out. Yeah, it's something I struggle with every day. I mean, listen, to be honest, I've contemplated, just dropping VF completely, in the past, like, in times before that, where it's just like the amount of community participation has hit like a low point, and it just seems like, playing just for the sake of playing almost doesn't appeal to me anymore. But I pick up the game again, and I just love how it plays. It just keeps me coming back. It's really hard to explain. If you have to has this sort of X factor that keeps me wanting more. But as far as how to keep other people engaged, like, I honestly don't know how to answer the question. I'm sorry if that's a disappointing answer for our viewers or listeners.
Nah, that'll be all right. We want the truth. That's the truth, right? So it is what it is. But
Yeah, it's very difficult to answer. It's because like I can't give players that same drive to play that I have. I can't, like, it's emotional, it's illogical, and no amount of logic, no amount of arguing, no amount of comparing fighting games and trying to, like, objectively decide which one is the best is really going to convince people who have stuck with another game and who played for their own reasons.
yeah, that's true. So I don't know. At the end of the day, it's to be honest, I think we're better off than we were in vanilla, because around this time in vanilla, like 2 years in, it was like dead. It was like,
Well, listen, I can point out things that I did have definitely helped. I mean, definitely what you're doing with streaming exhibitions and other people setting up their own live stream channels. It's definitely helped that, like, just regular players can, from the comfort of their own home or whatever gathering place they decide, can stream matches for other people to see and sort of inspire, like, a new generation of players to pick up the stick or controller or whatever, or the hitbox if you want to be like a cheating bastard.
yo, shout out to Tricky, yo, with the cheat box. We know, so it's not a secret anymore. But I don't know. I've been listening to other streams lately. I've been listening to Dream Cancel. Before, I used to listen to Wake Up SRK and stuff like that. And a lot of people have been running with the same themes pretty much. It was like, particularly with KOF, they're like, how do we get people to grow in numbers and things like that? And they're like, what convinced people to come out is like they'll see Evo matches with like Reynald or with Bala and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, this is so hype, like this game is so awesome, like I have to play it. And it's like that's what would get people started to play. So
Yeah.
just seeing your matches. Oh, go ahead. I'm bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with your interview.
No, that's all right. I just had a thought. Look, there's two things that I believe will definitely get people excited. There's high-level technical gameplay, and nothing like a good old-fashioned internet drama as well can get some outsiders looking in. interested in the matches. I mean, it's as much. I know some people, especially on VFDC, they probably don't like what the blogs like One Frame Kill have done, but it's definitely kept probably a number of players, including myself, interested in paying attention to what other VF players are doing. So just keep the hate train going, guys. Because it might sound like a shitty thing to say, but it might generate some page views. Just saying. And maybe it might get big enough to maybe generate an article on SRK, NeoGAF, IGN, or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, you're not the first person out here to say that. Like, honestly, that's arcade mentality. When you have two people really hating each other, you're gonna like try their hardest. They're gonna play their best to try and kill each other in the game, right? So that's like the whole point of that, idealism or whatever. So whether or not it works, or whether or not it's outdated is another thing. But at the same time, but hype matches like the Great Room and all that stuff, with flashing on them, those have been pretty hype and got people watching again. So that's
absolutely
true. So okay, so after going off on that tangent, just let's go ahead and get through. So you got any shout outs or anything like that? Any players to call out or whatever? Twitter, Facebook, streams?
Let's see. I'm not too active with social media. As far as what I want to shout out, I mean, give me a second to think about it. Shout out to Shang, I guess.
Yo, shout out to Shang, all the way up in Boston, man. Shout outs from the Raw interview stream. So we're good. Is that it?
Unless you have something else you want to ask me, I guess I don't have much more to say, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I probably should ask chat if they have anything to ask, but we on that
perhaps
Twitch
take
delay.
some questions from the audience. I mean, do you have stream chat up or?
Yeah, stream chat's up. There's like a little 30-second delay, so it might take a while for people to actually like answer. But yeah, if you got any questions for Rare or anything like that, now's the time for shut things down and things like that. But I don't know. Personally, I'm hyped for the match. I still want to see who Kazi wants to play. Like, because this is going to be character lock. He's not going to be switching around. So,
absolutely.
So what do you think he'll use? You think he'll use Sarah? You think he'll use Akira? He's been playing Jackie a lot, too.
I wish he picks Jackie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's going to be a wrap if he does. Just my advice to him would just be to stick to what he knows best. He tries to, get cocky and pick another character that he thinks I'm not too familiar with. It's probably not going to end too well with him,
Yeah, well, he better pick wisely because he has at least 10 games to, live with his character. He won't be switching. So, but, okay. Here we go. Wow, first question from KO.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Yo, I don't even know if I'm even going to ask that question. Yo, next, Fnatic, do you prefer hot dogs or hamburgers? Hot dog. What do you prefer?
That's a good question. I mean, hot dogs are easier to acquire, but hamburgers are a little more satisfying when you get them.
Well,
so it's awesome. I mean, in terms of gameplay, I consider a hamburger to be El Blaze's crouching rocket discharge low catch throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fireman catch. I don't even know what it's called, but you guys know what it is, and it's pretty fucking awesome when I land it. Matter of fact, GT, if he's listening, it amused me when he tried to get cute and crouch dash Fuzzy off of my his mouse rocket discharge mix up where he's at -8, and he tried to crouch dash, and I hit him with that low catch throw a couple of times. It's definitely a lot funnier than a hot dog because most people, they're afraid of eating a combo, so they'll block and just, all right, I'll eat a hot dog. And that's fine. 55 damage versus, like 80, 90 points or whatever is, a lot more acceptable. But
okay,
yeah, I'd say hamburgers are funnier.
There you go. There's your answer. Wow, BBS is in the chat. Of course he asked, what rank are you?
Shitlord rank, okay? That's what
Wow.
rank I am.
There you go. There you go. So
As far as my official Xbox Live rank, I don't even know. Destroyer, maybe. It's the one where the little background kind of looks like the Batman logo a little bit, the little Batarang.
yeah.
That's the only reason. Like, I don't care if I ever get another rank online. As long as I get to keep that Batarang, I'm good. Because it looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm assassin now. Oh, am I?
Yeah. So I think it's like Destroyer or something is my rank. But, you know, BBS is PSN, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's familiar with the scene on Xbox Live. There's hardly anybody on Xbox Live ranked anymore that actually is in the same like rank category as me. So it's almost impossible for me to level up at this point.
Yeah, there's like nobody on rank
And
period. And
yeah,
Xbox.
all the good players stick to room and player matches. So it's not about some phony artificial rank because everyone knows that like it doesn't mean anything anyway.
Yeah. It
Just
really doesn't.
just let your offline wins, let your tournament wins speak for themselves. That's the end game for me. It's offline play, it's tournament matches, it's being able to perform under pressure, and hopefully amusing people at the same time.
Yeah, BBS. Yeah, we want to see you. Like, we know you're on the East Coast now. We know you're by Stosha. So you don't have no excuse.
Yeah,
We want to see you.
get your ass to final round.
Yeah. Come to final round. I'll be there. A bunch of other people will most likely be there. Hopefully GT will be there. So, and I'm going to be doling out, like, a crap ton of money, too. So if you want some money, come get it.
Yeah, and while we're on that tip, I actually do have somebody else I want to shout out. I do want to shout out Joho. I hope he hears this at some point because he's driven my ass to New York a couple times, and I do appreciate it. Because it's definitely not cheap driving from Pennsylvania to New York. You're paying for gas, you're paying for several tolls, and it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. You definitely have to plan ahead, but you know it's definitely a cool thing that he reached out to me and he wanted me to come to New York with him and enjoy games with other players. So I just wanted to throw that one out there as well.
Okay, cause they got tolls. They're probably almost as bad as some Florida tolls, where like there's like a
Yeah,
toll
they're
like
not
every
great.
10 miles. Oh man, I hate driving in Florida. But okay, I'll take one more question from KO. He was
Okay,
like, what do you think the score will be for the set?
10-4. Roger that.
There you go. You right? Please don't tell me you think you're gonna lose like some other people over here. So you think you're gonna win, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because I had some people in the past talking about, oh well, I think the other guy's gonna win free. I'm like, what? What? No, don't say
Well, if you
that.
got some new guy who maybe wants to test himself against a stronger opponent, it might be a good idea for him to have some humility. But we're talking about two established players who are at least somewhat familiar with each other's styles. So, I think I could put the pressure on him and make him slip up.
Yeah, no respect belongs here. No, you playing to kill each other in the story, even if it's
Yeah.
Fudo. So okay, so 10-4, Roger that. According to KO. So okay, so on that note, I guess we'll end it. Thanks for coming out, and
Thank you for having me.
be sure to catch us on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be Cosby versus Ranity. It's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be one of the most look forward to sets I've been wanting to look forward to in a while. So be sure to catch that. It's gonna be on this channel. So yeah, and thanks for tuning in, and catch you later.
All right. See ya.